We have reached the third section of the wasteland, the fire sermon. It is the longest section and perhaps also the most challenging section. It will not be practical to give a line by line analysis, a line by line evaluation of the section. Instead, I shall try to provide an overview, a detailed overview, or rather a fairly detailed overview of the section. We shall begin with the title, The Fire Sermon. The title is, of course, from the Buddha. In the notes that T.S. Eliot prepared on the wasteland, he explains that the fire sermon is one of the most important discourses of the Buddha and tries to establish a parallel between the fire sermon of the Buddha and the Sermon on the Mount of Jesus. Just as the Sermon on the Mount is the most important sermon in the Christian canon, it can be argued that the fire sermon is the most important sermon in the Buddhist canon. It has been recorded that the Buddha preached the fire sermon on top of a hill near Gaya in the Magadha region of Bihar. He addressed the discourse to about 1,000 ascetics, bhikkhus in Pali and bhikshus in Sanskrit. These ascetics had been earlier fire worshippers, Agnihotris, who carried out the fire ritual twice daily at sunrise and sunset. Now they have accepted the path of the Buddha. The fire that the Buddha speaks of in his discourse is quite different from the physical fire worshipped by the ascetics prior to their conversion. The fire that the Buddha speaks of is the fire of passion, the fire of aversion, the fire of delusion, and the fire of suffering. It has been recorded that 1,000 bhikkhus attending the discourse became liberated when the fire sermon came to an end. Why is this section titled The Fire Sermon? This is a very interesting question. We shall tackle it after reading the section. There is one thing which I would like to point out. The first two sections of the wasteland, the burial of the dead and a game of chess, are almost exclusively Eurocentric in their vision. The thematic movement of the poem in the two sections, in the two opening sections of the wasteland, are almost completely confined to European civilization, European culture, Europe itself. We met with the Sibyl of Cumae. We came across Arnaud Daniel and Dante Alighieri. We interacted with allusions to Chaucer and Shakespeare. We walked through London Bridge. We came to know that the Great War had ended, that the First World War had ended, and hence demobilization had taken place. Some commentators feel that there is a reference to the October Revolution of 1917. They claim that the Red Rock in the opening section of the Wasteland, the Red Rock in line 102 to be more exact, is an allusion to the communist government which came to power in 1917 as a result of the Russian Revolution. The fact is that Western civilization, Western culture, Western society, and even Western spirituality, Western politics is unable to offer solutions to the problems of existence. And hence, the thematic movement of the Wasteland demonstrates a clear shift eastwards. We find a movement towards the east in the Wasteland. And this eastward movement is signified by the very title of the third section of the Wasteland, the Fire Sermon. And the Fire Sermon, as I said, is one of the most important discourses of the Buddha, which the Buddha preached some months after he got enlightenment. The sermon which the Buddha preached near Gaya to 1,000 bhikkhus who had renounced their earlier religious practices and accepted the path of the Buddha.